What's up guys, back with a new video. This week we're gonna have a look at how I made Resistance, the latest track from Rise of the Mad King. It's a big euphoric trance track which I really enjoyed making. And just like the last track, Human, we're gonna start from the beginning to the end and go move through the tracks and see how everything sounds. And yeah, let's start with the first drop. It's a really cool, bleepy electro kind of drop.
Access granted.
The first thing that's really noticeable is that I did a little groove change with the kick. I have like a top kick and a high kick, again the same top kick as my other tracks. Just a little bit different than a 4x4 rhythm, so because I really wanted to change it up a bit. Next, let's see, did I do anything on the kicks? Not much, just some small EQing. Just boosting a little bit at the 50 Hz and then lowering a bit at the 167 Hz. Nothing too fancy, just to make sure that the kick pops where it needs to pop and it really like punches through the mix. Next up we have a really cool pre-snare that I found from the Drezzo pack on Splice. So it gives that really, if you compare it with the kicks, it gives it that really cool feel. It's already pretty grooving, so to say. For percussion next I did some little fills. Like really affixy kind of fills to just do a little bit different than just a big drum roll or something. I didn't want to use it here. And then next I have a little loop effect, it's like a little stutter. The sub. It's a preset that I found in Spire. I took away all of the high frequencies and the mid frequencies. And I took away a bit of the mid frequencies on the place where the kick is approximately hitting, so the kick is really punching through there. Next to that, I did a little OTT to make it just a bit more compressed, without it really more like in your face. Yeah, I said last week I would be a little bit more upbeat, and since last week I had a pretty good week, so getting much more and more upbeat and happy, because it's also important. Next to the sub we have a bass step, just a sample. It's like again sidechain to the kick. We don't want to interfere with the kick when it's playing too much. And yeah, it plays the same rhythm if we go with the kick together and the snare. Next to that another sample. It's actually the same. I duplicated the bass step and I really wanted to have some more information sometimes in a stereo field. So I duplicated this bass step and I made it. I added some high frequencies, I believe. Yes, a lot of high frequencies, and I put it like almost all the way to the left. So you get a little bit of more grooving towards the side of the frequency range of the stereo field, I mean. Let's see, for this part I have some little bass samples to do a little bit of more of a FX fill. And this is all a matter of finding cool loops and samples and just take the parts out of the samples that you really enjoy, so that you can create a really cool soundscape, so to say. Another sample, I use a lot of samples for this part. Compare these with other bass lines. And then with the drums. So as you can hear, I have one bass a little bit more to the right and the other one's to the left, so you get a really wide feeling in the bass line, but keeping the sub in the middle, so you have a really wide bass line. So I have a little cool glitchy effect here as well. And that's almost it for the bass lines here. I have in the second part, I have some little additions to keep it more grooving, but I'm just first gonna show you what I did with the synth. Let's see, I made it myself. Again, I keep doing that more and more, see, when watching back my music. It's just a really bleepy sound and it's like nothing too fancy, but it's the notes that do it. So as you can see, if I zoom in, it's all like much legato flowing going on with the portamento. So that's what it makes it sound so groovy, so to say. And it's like if I would just play one note, let's put on the piano. If I would play like one note, again, what I always say is like the melodies are much more important than the sound itself, if you want to sound really cool. But back to the sound, I added some cymbal delay to make it really wide, and then I boosted again the highs, took away the lows, and then again my favorite plugin, the OTT, to just take the depth to like 50%, boost out a bit, and then you get a really pumping sound. And next to it I did my little reverb effect, like on the sends. Is here the again my reverb chain, which really makes that bouncy reverb tail. But for this one I always wanted to do like a little delay effect. Like I don't want the delay to interfere with the sound itself, but I wanted to hang around the sound, so to say. So I did really sidechain it really massively, and then I just took the high frequencies here, and I used the replica and the auto pan to just keep it moving. So if we would go to this part like with everything together. And as you can hear, that's something that I really developed and learned through the years. It's really important to know where you want your sounds. Not only like in volume, but also in placement. That's why I did some sound to the left, some to the right, some in the middle, some high, some low. And that is how you really get a really big sounding mix without like really destroying the transients of your mix. So yeah, it's really the most important thing is that it makes sense and it sounds dope. And I think that's what I wanted to go for, and yeah, I think it sounds pretty okay. Alright, then to the emotional stuff. For the show, this was the track which really needed to capture that Husman, for the story actually, that Husman found some new friends and found some hope in the end of some light in the end of the tunnel. And this is what captured this part, with a really soothing little vocal that I have here. So a vocal sample. Next to the vocal I added some piano to it. He's looking for the headquarters of the resistance. He sees like a light inside of a tunnel and like inside of a cave, and he's really looking towards it. So I was like, how can I capture that in this track? So I thought it's perhaps really cool to start like low on the melody, and then go upwards, but also make the BPM go from low to high. So as you can see, it starts at like at the top you can see 128, 128. And the ending is like 213, and that's really something that I think is really you hear stuff coming to the track, you hear stuff really getting added. He comes closer, and then he comes to the big melody, and he sees it in all of its massiveness and stuff. So first, enough mumbling about my story, it's about the track today. First, a little ARP I made. Yeah, it's a preset in silent, and I made an ARP of it. And I added some EQ. I think I did, yeah, I took away the low mid frequencies, and then again I did a panning effect, so it really goes gradually moving from left to right. A little ping pong for some delay, OTT to compress it, the Pro L to just take the peaks a bit out of it, and then add a little chorus to just make it a little bit more like, yeah, it's not like that too clean. Next to that I have another ARP. It's more like the snappy ARP. With this one the effect is that I keep gradually increasing the delay, so it gets really, it's in the beginning it's pretty dry, and then it keeps really getting more like a delay and a reverb. And that is like the art of this break. And then have another art. What really makes this breakdown like really like mysterious and really yeah, mysterious, that's the word. And if I combine all the three, you get a really, I think a really cool electronic breakdown, but I want to give some more human feel to it, so I added some strings. And with strings, it's always a little bit of a thing when you use a digital string, like strings from Contact. When the BPM is going really fast, like it's the samples of the strings are being played in like by real musicians. But if you go such a quick if you go in such a quick scale from low BPM to high BPM, you get at the point that it sounds really digitally. But for this project, for Rise the Mad King, which is like a sci-fi thing and it's combined with electronic elements, I think it's really, yeah, I think it kind of works. It could be better if I would like get a real orchestra to really play it. But for me, for now, for this project, I think this sounds really cool, like strings. It really captures what I want to capture, melody and harmony wise. So that's what I did. Next set I have a high pad. It's called Post-Human. It's a really weird kind of Contact library, but it got really like those outerworldly sounds to it. And then for the break, I have some little brass. I had to freeze them because the CPU couldn't handle it at the time. And then last but not least for this, I did a little noise add, which is like a sample, but I want to give it more of a, like kind of the Hans Zimmer, the Interstellars, like this organ, like the breathing of the organ, and I've tried to do this as well with this little noise add. And it sounds pretty fucking epic. And last for this one is like the choirs, which are really making it like everything's gonna be okay in the end. And I see you thinking, oh, man, that's so much reverb, but because it's not the most important thing in this break, I think it can get away with a lot of reverb, because I want to just like some angels in the back singing through the break. So that were the main parts of the break. Then we get to the really cool trance part. The first lead we have for this part is it's an open lead. So that's just like really like a chord lead which plays like 16 notes, which are really progressing and really going fast. And then I have the first trance lead. So you can already hear like one is like is a chord and one is like an arpeggiator, which really creates like a really cool harmony, I think. Like the good things about an arp is you create a really cool melody, but you're already also losing a lot of notes when you're going up and down, up and down. So that's why I thought let's layer it with a chord layer. But then I needed some extra sound because otherwise the chord layer would like really overpower the arpeggio. And then a little square lead, or like a big square lead. And if you combine all of those with like again a little break bass. Then you get like really cool little layer going on. That's what you really, again, looking for. What do I need? Where do I need it? And what are the sounds I want to go for? So then the build up. The build-up is it's like just little strings again. So again, moving towards a new part, like from low to high. Added the vocals, the effects. It's party time!
Welcome.
And this part I really needed to go back to the roots. I was like, how did that rolling trance bass work again? And I just tried some stuff out. Oh, there's the sub bass. And I just came to this simple rhythm which really worked well for me. Combine that with the kick. So, and that's basically how I made Resistance, the latest track from Rise of the Mad King. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed showing you around in my tracks. And I want to do a little more for you. I've started my own Patreon channel where I will do monthly sample packs, preset packs, MIDI packs, coaching sessions, feedback sessions. I've put the link below and I really hope I will see you there. And yeah, for me, next week I will be back and I hope you have a great day. Take care, bye bye.